Alrighty, so UFC Fight Night Hill versus Rountree just took place, and I'm here to give you my breakdown of the whole card. My very biased breakdown, as we'll get into. And as always, I'll have my total score at the end, because I do take my picks seriously, as long as they're not winning. And, yeah, I went positive on this card, but I'm not happy, okay? I am kinda, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll get to the main event when we get to the main event. Let's go through the breakdown of the whole card. Yeah, I do breakdowns on every single event, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Go ahead, check out my live streams that I do sometimes throughout the week after 8 p.m. EST. Now, shameless plug over. Let's get into the breakdown. Hamdi Abdul Wahab. By the way, I just want to say, a lot of cheating in this card, okay? A lot of boring shit fights, okay? I don't know if this was elevation or something, but it definitely fucking felt like it, alright? Felt like everyone was stuck in Salt Lake City or some shit. And this first fight here went down pretty much exactly as I said. Muhammad Usman. Now, to be fair, I think I did go Muhammad Usman, landing a big shot to knock out Hamdi Abdul Wahab. Normally with flawless fighters, I have this rule, okay? And I'm like, in my head, I think they're going to do a little bit better because they're flawless. And it's like, you got to imagine, like, third round comes by, they have a flawless record, they're going to try to keep that flawless record. Now, with Hamdi Abdul Wahab, ham and cheese Abdul Wahabi, alright? That's not the case. This guy's a fat fuck. He might have the highest fat content on the heavyweight roster. There's somebody else that we'll get into later that I think might have heavier. But, yeah, ham and cheese over here. He had a good round one, I guess, but it was kind of close. What were the numbers? Yeah, that's pretty fair. Round 2 and 3, I think round 1 was Usman, round 2 was Hamdi, and then round 3 was Usman. And it was a boring shit heavyweight fight where Usman, I want to say shot a takedown, but didn't really get one. Did he get a takedown? Yeah, he went 0 for 4 on takedowns. Yeah, he didn't get a takedown, but he was just like kind of slightly outlanding Hamdi Abdul Wahab. There's so many moments though where Usman looks hurt, he looks wobbled. He could genuinely be hurt. Sometimes he'd get jabbed and he'd be like jelly legging, fucking I don't know. Obviously, I don't think Usman has a great chin. I'm not gonna really pick Usman unless he goes against another bum like Hamdi. Like, I don't think Usman gets ranked at heavyweight, which is sad as that is for heavyweights. Yeah, I don't think Usman's that good. And to be honest with you, when Kamaru Usman won last weekend, I was really worried I was gonna get this other Usman pick, because typically one of the brothers, ends up being the failure. Okay, so Muhammad Usman is definitely worse than Kamaru Usman. But, I mean, he got it done. I got the pick right. Moving on, Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azamat Maxim. I went with Tagir. I just thought Tagir was going to be a little bit better. Probably like 99.9% of the population of this planet. However, I picked Tagir. I picked him by decision. I do think this was a robbery. I'll say it, alright? Azat Maxim came in with aura. Round 1, stuffing the takedowns pretty well. Tagir fights like his other clones. He fights like the other members of his gym, but he doesn't have like the skills and the technique and the speed and the reaction to fight like that, Like, when he sees a moment to go in, he'll go in, but they're shit entries. Like, he'll go bob and weave, but like barely land anything, barely get out without taking damage, and then he lost that exchange. And now it's just like, brother, what the fuck was the point, So, Tagir's definitely like the failed clone from the gym. But yeah, round 1, I thought it was maybe a clear Tagir round, just because, like, I get Azat stuffed the takedowns. Holy shit, I didn't think Tagir didn't get a single fucking takedown. God damn, man, bro, this Tagir guy sucks, huh? Yeah, I thought Tagir was doing well on the feet for the first 3 minutes, but every time he landed, Azat ate it, and, like, didn't feel an effect whatsoever. Like, when Tagir would get hit, he'd be like, whoa, whoa, jelly legged, fucking, whoa, you know, getting his center back and, you know, trying to relock in after a few seconds of being wobbled. When Azat got hit, he'd just be like, all right, on to the next exchange. Like, instantly, like, oh, I just got hit, bah, bah, bah. You know, you just fucking go in, you know? So Azat might be a problem here at flyweight. I do think this was a robbery. Round 2, Azat stuffed the takedowns, then also took down Tagir and laid on top of him. I think it was for the final 2 minutes, I want to say, at the end there. I don't know how they credited a submission here. I don't remember Tagir ever getting close to a fucking submission, but okay. I think at one point he maybe attempted a Kimura or something weird. I don't remember him attempting a sub here, you know? But Azat definitely looked like he was having more output. Numbers definitely show that, but when you actually watch the fight, I think it's hard to make an argument that Tagir won it. Not only because, like, Azat was keeping it very competitive on the feet, and by competitive, I mean, arguably he was winning on the feet, you know? I get there's kind of an argument that he was even on the feet, but I thought for the most part he was winning, just because he would get hit, and he'd be like, oh, I bet, and he'd do the same thing, and he would wobble Tagir. But every time Azat got hit, or Azat Maxim got hit, he just fucking ate it like a Giga Chad and just pushed through the damage. Absolute fucking Chad genetics from this guy. Looks like he belongs on one of those teen romance comedies or fucking, I don't know, the what's that stupid werewolf, Twilight or whatever. I felt like every time I saw Azat, he belonged on that type of show. But yeah, this is very interesting. You know, I do know he lost to Charles Johnson. I guess we found out Charles Johnson's better than Tagir. Like, this fight was so weird. Round 2, it was close. He stuffed takedowns. And then in round 3, Azat, I go on a little bit of tangents. My apologies. But yeah, round 3, I thought Azat clearly won. He stuffed even more takedowns and then took down Tagir and laid on top of Tagir. It was very clear Azat Maxim, in my personal opinion. I don't know, in terms of, like, how other people see it, but I picked Tagir. I was pretty confident on fucking Tagir. And Azat made him look like a bitch out there. He made him look like Tagir's got zero power. Made him look like he belongs, you know, back at the gym, fucking mopping up floors. He'll never touch a belt, alright? Like, his grappling looked like shit. Am I crazy? Did the Doggy Boys get fucking figured out? You know, did Merab pave the way for a new era? Who knows? But yeah, Tagir sucks. I feel like if you frame by framed it, there's an argument, but when you're watching it live, 100% I think Azamat wins that. I think this sort of matchup is one of those, like, 7 times out of 10, Azat wins that fight, in my personal opinion. You know, either by finish or decision, where Tagir only wins by decision those 3 times, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Azat, or I picked Tagir, got the pick right. I guess I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, moving on, women's fight. I had to go take a shit. Didn't watch this fight. You know, if you don't know, I do this thing called a coin flip. Yeah. For my women's fights. I seriously don't give a single fuck about women's fights. I don't think they should be a part of cards. If you want to make them their own separate things, I think they take away from the whole vibe and stink up the card. But I got this one right. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the coin flipped Claudia. Coin often goes 1 for 1. And I think on this card it did. So I think I had Claudia because of the coin. I do all this on Tapology, so I got receipts, okay? But yeah, moving on, Daria Zeleznakova versus Dixon Cider. Yeah, another women's fight. I actually did watch this one. This one I thought they were gonna rob Daria because I thought they were going to favor the control time with Dixon Cider, but they didn't, and they actually went with the Warrior and Daria, and Daria had a great performance, I guess. It's a women's fight. I went with Melissa Dixon. The coin picked her. I don't really care. I just don't give a fuck. Moving on, Ishmael Nerdiev versus Park Young. All right, and I did pick Ismail Nerdiev. I just felt like he is good. I guess what we learned from this fight is that Ismail Nardiev, he is explosive. He does have talent, but he just lacks the cardio, and like he's breakable. You know when like a fighter like Khalil against Alex Pereira, they get to round 3 and they're just like, oh fuck, I gotta go another couple rounds with this guy. Oh shit. And then they just start covering up and they get TKO'd and, their nose gets broken and they get absolutely fucking their shit beat out of. When that happens to fighters, when they absolutely break and they can't fucking do anything back because they're, too busy crying on the ground, shelling up Anthony Smith style. But Ismail's kind of like that. He did have a really good round 1. I did think he won round 1. I think there was an eye poke or something weird. There was like some sort of cheat that people are saying. Now in round 2 when it started, the eye poke was a knuckle. Alright? And I'm not trying to defend cheating, alright? By the way, just want to quickly mention, okay, Tagir clearly cage grabbed in round 2 to stop a takedown. And Azamat would have got that takedown for sure. Ref didn't even fucking notice it. Yeah, so I guess we just allowed cheating for certain audiences. But yeah, Ismail in round 1, I think he did land an eye poke. It was kind of rough. I think I was making a pizza at the time, but when I came back and round 2 started, he did land. It was a knuckle on the replay that landed in Park Young's eye, the Iron Turtle. He did, it was a knuckle. So in my opinion, they should have kept it going, but they didn't. They stopped and then they resumed. Ismail was landing really, really good. And then Park Young was hand on ground on his ass with a knee up and a knee on the ground, and Ismail just role plays Peter Yan Aljo and fucking knees him right in the cranium. But even worse, because it was the most blatant, and then I think something opened up a cut on Park's eye, like on the eyelid, which was really bad, a very bad cut. So it took a lot of time there. They ended up taking away 2 points. So I don't know how many times we've had it, but this was one of the first, I think it was a 29-25 card in the UFC. But yeah, in round 2, Ismail starts playing like, oh, I did not see this, brother. I did not see his knee and hand on ground when I need him, looking down at him using my knee. I did not see this, brother. I did not see this. How? What the fuck? What a brain dead move, Low IQ, overzealous moment from the young buck in Ismail Nerdiev. So yeah, minus aura points there. He thought he got a finish as well, instead of them ruling that as an illegal knee. So maybe there's an adrenaline dump, but right after that moment, he had one good combo. And after that, round 2, I think there was 4 minutes left. He got bitched the whole time. And then on round 3, similar thing happened. Ismail faded. He had no cardio, had no gas in the tank, and Park fucking laid on him for 5 minutes in round 3. Just whooped his ass. Got really close to submissions at times. There's only 1 submission attempt here. I swear to God, it was 3 submission attempts for 2 minutes each. It was Park isn't active in terms of punching his opponent when he's laying on you, but he's very active in terms of hunting for a submission. He doesn't always get it, like in this fight, but he's very active. Even one-eyed Iron Turtle might be the new myth. Alright? Master Uguay himself has descended upon us, and he is making the run to the title. Alright? I want to see Hamzat, Iron Turtle, after Hamzat gets headbutt TKO'd by DDP. Moving on! It was a kind of a shit fight, I'm not gonna lie. Ismail had one... He is a one-rounder bust type of dude, I think. Even at middleweight, welterweight, same thing. He is explosive for a little bit, and then he becomes a gassed out, I just hope I win type of fighter. Moving on. Oban Elliott. Listen, I went with Oban Elliott, with 99.9% of the population. I went with him purely because I don't know this Ko Seok-hyun guy. Didn't watch his fights. He's a debut. I don't give a fuck. I don't watch debuts. So I went with the Oban Elliott, the guy who's fought in the UFC. I haven't seen anything from Oban that's like a, whoa, future champ, you know? But I did say Oban is looking good. He's like the English, who's that fucking guy? Ikram Alaskarov. He's kind of like that, where like there's moments where he struggles, but overall he gets what he needs to do done. Yeah, he looked like shit in this fight and got absolutely fraud checked by this young guy. Alright, now, you can say what you want about, like, maybe I didn't see the guy's whatever fights, but as far as I'm concerned, Ko Seok, I think he's called the Korean Mike Tyson, so I'm just gonna call him that, because I hate fucking pronouncing these names. The Korean Mike Tyson, you could say, like, he was really good in his, like, before UFC debut type shit, but I didn't see anything from him. Holy fuck, he got every single... I think they credited those as takedowns. Interesting. I swear to God, he attempted like 20 trips, and he landed 19 of them. Every single time he went for a trip, Oban fell for it. Every time. Oban looked slow out there. This is what I'm talking about. Like, it literally looked like Salt Lake City type shit out there. It was... I don't know what was going on with Oban, but he looked like a Bruno Silva versus, like, Ismail Nurdiev, honestly. Like, it kind of looked like that, where it just looked like he was lost in a lot of moments. Only a little bit worse, to be honest with you. And I think he was a minus 500 favorite, you know? I do think Bo Nickal's probably the biggest fraud check of the year. Protest is up there, but, like, those are against, like, good comp, you know? RDR is a good comp, you know? He is probably going to be top 5 middleweight at some point, and he is, like, a young, really good, skilled, proven prospect. And Protest lost to Gary. Gary is at least like a proven fighter. Bro, this Korean Mike Tyson. I'm excited for this Korean Mike Tyson guy. He looks fucking sick, alright? If he's tripping everyone like that, if he's laying, you know, he's not the... Listen, I watched the MMA Guru doing this, okay? Of course, you had to, just in case there was a crash out. And there, you know, there was a lot of cope, alright? Bro, this Korean Mike Tyson was whooping Oban Elliott on the feet, too. Like, Oban had zero success. There was nowhere that was looking winnable at all. You know, there's not a single moment or, like, something that happened where I was like, okay, Oban, keep doing that, you know? I was just like, damn, this guy's fucked. Like, bro, he's getting tripped every time. He's getting dragged down. He's getting held against the fence. He's getting struck in at range. There was moments where he landed. But what are the numbers? I get, like, ground and pound maybe are skewing that, but it felt like even this Korean Mike Tyson guy was whooping him on the feet, to be honest with you. But it's hard to say if this is, like, one of the hardest fraud checks of UFC, especially this year, because there's a lot this year. But, like, man, like, I don't know, man. Maybe comment down below if you think Oban Elliott getting fraud checked is the worst fraud check of all time, or who you'd put as your worst fraud check of all time. I don't know, man. This is up there, man. It's up there. I get it, like, Oban's not something, but 3-0 in the UFC, touted prospect. You know, like, I wouldn't say he's got the same level of hype of a Bo Nickal, Carlos Protest, but this is like the Temu version, you know, I guess, in a way. Or even worse, because he's losing to someone lower than him. At least Bo Nickal and Carlos lost to people higher than them. Fuck, man, this is tough. Anyways, moving on to the main card. Yeah, it was an okay fight. It was, like, this is, like, the middle of the road. It was entertaining for the most part, you know? Maybe not most, but it was entertaining 50-50. Moving on, we have Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. I went with Muhammad Naimov. I went with decision. I just thought it was going to be vintage, like, he survives, basically, and he looks good doing it, basically. There's arguments for Bogdan Grad, kind of. But I do think, like, I thought Naimov won this more clear than Tagir. I think we can all agree there. Bogdan Grad just made too many mistakes. And I think that was, like, where Naimov kind of, not clearly, but more arguably won rounds, you know? Every time you went for a spinning wheel kick, it landed on Bogdan Grad. every time Bogdan Grad would shoot like a takedown from range, Muhammad Naimov was like quick to sort of like separate, get to space, you know, avoid the submission threat. Did he get a takedown? Yeah, he got a takedown. Pretty clear. Muhammad Naimov, but yeah, it was close in moments. I'm trying to remember. Round 1, I want to say it was a Naimov round, purely because of the spinning wheel kick and not much happening for 3 minutes. And then Naimov was just doing a little bit more in the exchanges, but he was getting caught here and there. You know, Bogdan Grad, you know, Agent 47, or I think that's his name, fucking 007 over here, you know, belongs in Hitman universe, whatever the fuck his name is. You know, he's good. He's just not Muhammad Naimov cheat level, you know? And Muhammad Naimov was getting away with a lot of shit, too. I think there was at one point where he grabbed the fence to prevent the takedown very, very clearly. Like, grabbed it, yoinked it, and it did prevent the takedown. And then the ref just said, "Don't let me see you grabbing the cage again." I don't know about that one. But I think, like, if you cage grab, it should just be instant point taken away. I don't understand why the fuck they allow this shit. But, yeah, Bogdan Grad, he just didn't do enough. Like, round 2, I want to say, was Bogdan Grad's. It was either 2 or the 3rd. But there was one round where it was very, very competitive. And Bogdan Grad was kind of getting the better in exchanges. And he was landing big shots, but he was getting tagged. So it's like, ugh, you know? I don't know. It was like a 50-50, like, you could make the argument Naimov, but he did get rocked pretty bad by that fucking, I think it was a hook over the top or something like that. Naimov was very patient in this fight and was getting close to getting finished, but he toughed it out, he survived, he cheated, and he still won. Oh yeah, there was another part where, Naimov, or Bogdan, I think, was complaining about a, glove grab as well in the 3rd round when Muhammad Naimov was lying on top. His corner was telling Naimov, I think, to, I want to say not shoot a takedown. I can't remember. Fuck, it feels like it was so long ago. But Muhammad Naimov barely won. It was just another, like, he barely won performance, you know? He just keeps on getting away with it. Moving on. Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mata. I picked Nazim Sadikov. I was very wrong when I was breaking it down because I thought it was Bonfim who, like, landed that kick on Sadikov, but it was Sadikov that landed that head kick on Bonfim and completely exposed Bonfim on the feet. But I still picked Nazim Sadikov. I respect the fuck out of Nicholas Mata. What I will say is the only reason why Sadikov won this fight is because of plot armor. If this was not Nazim Sadikov and his home city, home country, some shit like that, they would have given Nicholas Mata a standing TKO in that first round. If anyone watches the first round, it's like, I don't understand how they didn't call that a standing TKO. Nazim Sadikov ate like 50 hooks over and over. You can make an argument they were on the guard mostly, but you had Sadikov wincing. You had him falling down at one point to one of the body shots. You had him looking very uncomfortable when Nicholas Mata was like threatening something, like a choke for a second. They get back up and he's just fucking teeing off. And Sadikov's just sitting there eating damage like a punching bag. So, yeah, I think like Nicholas Mata could have got a standing TKO, to be honest. If this was Ismail Bonfim, you would have got a standing TKO. If this was Grant Dawson, not at home in America, or even in America, like Las Vegas, Nicholas Mata gets the win there, you know? Like, and I'm not talking like, oh, he puts him down or whatever. I'm talking 1 for 1 what happened. It's just not something of in that country, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, I don't know, the ref must have been high when he was watching this fight, but Nicholas Mata was having a lot of success, but he's a gamer. And, you know, he was sick, to be fair. He got split open on the forehead, I think, in round 2. Round 1, it was kind of close, but I think you give it to Mata because he was whooping Sadikov's ass for 3 minutes, and then Sadikov started pouring on him in the latter half of the round. But I do think in round 2 is kind of a more clear Sadikov. Mata was gassed out, probably because he thought he probably should have won in that standing TKO position. But, yeah, I mean, Sadikov poured it on him. And, hey, listen, Although I would have scored it a standing TKO if I was a ref, I do think it's like Sadikov is sick. Like, he's not going to break, you know? Like, I was kind of worried Sadikov is one of these dudes that's going to break halfway through, but good performance from Sadikov overall. You know, I know it was really rough for the first 3 minutes, but he came back and showcased, like, he's got a good chin. He's tough. He'll survive body shots and stuff, you know? Nicholas Mata looked really good. He just got caught, hands low, whipped against the cage, and he got fucking almost flatlined. He got dropped pretty bad, but yeah, it was almost flatline. He's also kind of tough as shit, but just a little weaker than Nazim Sadikov. Nicholas Mata genuinely beats a lot of these unranked lightweights. Like, yes or no, I love Bobby Green. Nicholas Mata beats Bobby Green. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. He beats Bobby Green. You know, do with that information what you will. You know, he's got good odds against Jim Miller, you know, type shit. You know what I mean? Nicholas Mata, he could clean up a lot of these crafty vets. But, yeah, moving on. This fight was a sick fight. This is, like, this should be the standard for fight nights. Like, if you're an unranked fighting contender, watch Nazim Sadikov, Nicholas Mata, that should be the industry standard. Moving on. This dude, Taufik, made his debut against Mytebek Orolbai. And if you've been watching my videos and you're paying attention on the video, I don't pick debut fighters most of the time, unless, like, their opponent's pretty shit. Orolbai is sick. I picked Rebecca to beat Orolbai. I was probably one of the only people in the world, so, you know, feel free to hit those picks and predictions on every single video I do, on every single event I do for the UFC, alright? Hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Stay tuned. But, shameless plug over. Orolbai whooped Taufik's ass. Taufik would throw a kick. Orolbai took him down, laid on him. I think at one point Taufik... Oh, did they stand him up? I think they actually stood them up, if I remember correctly. And then after they stood him up, Taufik landed like a few good shots here and there on Orolbai. Orolbai does leave his chin up, to be fair, but he is tough enough to, like, survive for the most part. But then Taufik went for the same kick, got taken down, and got Kimura Americana, whatever the fuck it is. So, Mytebek Orolbai won, round 1. I went with decision just because he's a tough boy. Tough man from the Mammoth region, you know? But, yeah. Orolbai won. And not, you know, it was a round 1 sub, and he looked good, I guess. Orolbai's back, baby. Moving on. Curtis Blades versus Rizvian Kuniev. I picked Curtis Blades. Fuck this Roy cheating fat fuck Kuniev. Also a debut. So again, if you follow the trend, those are not the numbers. I'll just keep it a buck. I mean, these are Marab level numbers. I guess we're counting those knees in the clinch. I guess that does make sense now that I'm thinking about it. But Curtis Blades versus Rizvian Kuniev. I picked Curtis Blades by decision. I do think, or no, I think I went round 1 KO or some shit like that because I just wanted him to knock out this fat fuck. I do think it was very close. Don't get me wrong. This wasn't clear or anything. Curtis Blades did say his MCL tore in round 1. All right, on his left leg, even though it looked like his right leg was the bum leg. But, you know, yeah, it is what it is. We'll accept the excuses, okay? But Curtis Blades looked really good in round 1. Even though he wasn't getting takedowns on fat fuck, 700-pound, fat ass, lose some fucking weight. If I was in that octagon, I'm 5'8". I think one overhand right, I'm sleeping Kuniev. If you gave me one strike on Kuniev, not even one strike. If you started us at space and he's not on top of me, I'm knocking out Kuniev. I'm sorry. I beat the fuck out of this fat fuck. Body shot TKO, some shit. All right? I'm leg kicking his ass. All right? I'm hitting him with that Khalil Rountree oblique kick. You know? Kuniev's cooked if he's in there with me. And I do genuinely think Kuniev fucking sucks. To be fair, his hands are pretty good. Everything else sucks. Takedown defense is pretty good, but that's mainly because he's 700 pounds. So it's hard to pick up a 700-pound man. But Curtis Blades looked really good in round 1. MCL apparently blew out. And then in round 2, he gets pieced up. He does. He looks terrible. I've never really found out what my reasoning behind Curtis Blades not being top tier is. Like, he's good, and he's really good for heavyweight, but, like, there's obviously reasons why he gets flatlined by Derek Lewis, why he gets beat by Tom Aspinall, why, you know, Sergey Pavlovich would give this guy problems, you know, Volkov probably beats him I think they fought before, so maybe in a rematch, maybe, I can't remember. Regardless, no, I do think he actually did beat Volkov, now that I'm remembering. Regardless, Curtis Blades is slow. That is the thing with Curtis Blades. Round 1, even being his best round, he is slow. Very telegraphed takedowns. You can see it coming. Uppercut up the middle, like Buckley would beat the fucking shit out of Curtis Blades at middleweight. Or you know, middleweight Buckley beats the shit out of heavyweight Curtis Blades, in my personal opinion. Maybe not. Curtis Blades might just get a fucking double leg and win. But Curtis Blades looked great. Round 1. Round 2, he got pieced up. Looked like shit. Absolute shit. His head movement was terrible. He would move his head, get jabbed, move to the other end, get jabbed again, and then do it again and rinse and repeat until his fucking eye was busted up, and then he stopped moving his head. Like, it was very weird shit. Round 3 was a lot closer, and this is where, like, it gets arguably for Kuniev. Curtis Blades was getting pieced up a little bit early on, but he landed back pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. And then he shot a takedown and held Kuniev against the cage for, like, I want to say 2 minutes and 2 minutes and some change. It was just kneeing to the thigh, Murad style. And then they got to space and Kuniev had nothing. Like, he didn't really do anything to warrant, like, a Kuniev win, you know? But Curtis Blades optically did look like shit. He did say his MCL tore out. Maybe that's the reason. I don't really care. I think Curtis Blades is still, like, roughly where I'd put him. Does he beat Cyril Gane because he called out Cyril Gane? Maybe. Maybe. But, I don't know. I'd have to sit on this really weird Curtis Blades win for a little bit and think about it. But, you know, he's not beating Aspinall anytime soon. Trilogy, never going to happen. It probably will happen at this point. John Jones is going to keep on ducking like a little bitch. But we move on. That was a shit fight, by the way. We move on. Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Oh, my God. I know it had boring moments. Oh, it felt so good, man. I picked Fiziev. And listen, man, people forget, man. I get that Fiziev lost more clear in his fight with Justin Gaethje in the rematch on short notice. That short notice Fiziev was a better Fiziev than the first one that fought Justin Gaethje. They fought completely different fights. While Fiziev did lose more clear in that rematch, he is improved. He is a better Rafael Fiziev, you know? He's mixing up shit in his game. You know, as I said in my prediction, man, Fiziev is fucking good. He's tested against these ranked dudes, you know? Ignacio Bahamamama, all right? Ignacio Bahamondes, he is good, and I don't mind him winning. He looked like Skeletor out there. Anybody else thought he had, like, a really rough weight cut? Maybe that's, I don't think that's how he always looks, but 6'3" for lightweight is rough. But yeah, Ignacio, I don't mind people who picked Ignacio. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, scrap with you over picking Ignacio over Fiziev. I completely get why, right? Ignacio's the rangier guy. Fiziev is, you know, he bursts in. Maybe he wouldn't be able to burst in because Ignacio's reach is too much. I get it. But Fiziev is really, like, if we're ranking, like, blitzers, Fiziev is, like, top 3 in the UFC. Enough said. You know, just saying, right? But yeah, Ignacio couldn't really get anything going. And Ignacio, he doesn't have that it factor. Like, is he a little bit more powerful than average? Sure, he's 6'3", he better be. Is he slick on the ground? When Jalen Turner puts himself into an armbar and says, hey, you know, break my arm, please, and then taps to retire. Yeah, sure, he's slick on the ground. But he's like a Manuel Torres, and he's like a... Who's that guy that Sean Woodson just fought? That other freak. I can't remember his name. Fernando? Something like that? I can't remember his name. Regardless, that like 6'3" at featherweight dude, or whatever weight class they were fighting at. That guy, he's a lot like that, where it's like, it's a lot of jab. It's a lot of kick. It's a lot of spinning wheel kick. It's a lot of head kick. It's no combos, right? And there's no way to catch Fiziev if you're not throwing combos, you know? And I get, like, if you're trying to catch him on the way in, but Fiziev was so fast, and his reaction time went up another level in this. Like, it really felt like every single time Ignacio went for something, Fiziev literally saw it like half a second faster. Like, he had like future by 1 second, you know? He saw the script before it was even written, and he would just like, oh, you're about to leg kick, you know? And they'd go leg kick for leg kick, but like they clash their legs. And that happened a lot, you know? Or they'd go in and he'd bop, 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 and then he'd get out and duck and move and, oh, head kick, head kick, head kick, you know? At one point, Ignacio literally spammed like 4 or 5 head kicks. But round 1, it was close. Fiziev was like, it was very patient Fiziev. Very locked in, very patient Fiziev. I'm just happy my boy won. He is one of my like more favorited fighters to watch in the UFC, so I'm glad he won. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is because I rate fucking warriors. Fiziev's a fucking warrior. I'll get into why. But yeah, round 1, he was just like better everywhere, man. He just was. Ignacio didn't shoot a takedown. He didn't. Did he shoot a takedown in round 1? I don't think he did. I don't think he shot a takedown in round 1. But Fiziev, basically, every single time Ignacio was about to strike, he'd know and go in. Bop, bop, bop. He'd get tagged with a jab here and there, but it was typical Fiziev, like, get in there, body shot, head shot, get out. You know? Very good Muay Thai from Fiziev. And then Ignacio would just spam head kicks, miss all of them. Bro, Fiziev is one of the best. Like, Fiziev doesn't have head movement. He has body movement that correlates to his head movement, you know? Like, he'll move his body in order to dodge his opponent's attacks, but he does it so fast that it looks like it's just head movement, you know? So you think his body's there, and you miss because he's leaned back all the way. It's sick. It's absolutely sick to watch. Round 2, so round 1 I thought was clear Fiziev. Ignacio had like a few moments here and there, but nothing really that clear. Round 2, Fiziev starts having a really rough time. He starts getting picked up, not picked up in terms of like literally, but he was getting picked apart a little bit at range. He wasn't really able to get in there and find some good combos. He'd land like one thing, but Ignacio would land like jab, you know, right hand over the top, you know. I think even a head kick landed at one point pretty flush. But then Fiziev pulls out a takedown. He whips out the tool belt. He just opens up the fucking takedown list, and he just starts diving for legs. Gets clean takedowns on Ignacio. Very bad look from Ignacio. Lands 2 clean takedowns at the end of the round. Didn't do too much with it, but it's the fact that he got the takedown, laid on him, optionally stood up, and then just leg kicked the shit out of him until he stood back up, and then he beat his ass. That was the sick part in the final 2 minutes, and I don't like the precedent of the final 2 minutes matter more than the first 3 minutes, because that just means everyone's going to only focus on the final 2 minutes, but I do think Fiziev's 2 minutes are by far better than Ignacio's 3 minutes in round 2, so I give Fiziev round 2. Did they credit the knockdown? No, they didn't. They didn't actually credit it. I was going to say, I don't think they were going to credit that. Fiziev did knock him down in round 2 at the very, very end. Little bit after the bell. Okay, let's be honest. I'm a Fiziev glazer, but, you know, little after the bell. Okay, Fiziev. He knocks down Ignacio Bahamondes with a clean right hand. And it's not like Fiziev doesn't have power. Like, he has the power. He has, like, maybe not like Strickland power. He has, like, Magomed power, where it's just, it makes you not want to go in and fight with him. It makes you not want to eat that too much, you know? Like, oh, he landed a hook. Pff, I didn't really feel that. Ooh, that second one. Okay, you know? Didn't really hurt that much. Ooh, that third one. Okay, I need to not get hit by that again. You know, that's the type of shit Fiziev got, in my opinion. You know, like, the first one's never going to put you out. The third one, that's where it's getting risky. That's where you're playing with fate, you know? So Fiziev is fast, explosive, looking great in round 2. Round 3 starts. Bro. I know Manil Cap, Bruno Silva's one of the best, like, flow state moments of UFC of all time. If it wasn't for those nut shots, it might be the best flow state. When Fiziev's in his flow state, man, it is Picasso at work, alright? He's dodging the head kick. He's moving out of the way of the jab. He's blocking whatever's coming his way. And then he goes in, bop, 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 bop. Exit without taking damage. Like, bro, it's just so fucking clean, man. It's so good. So I thought Fiziev clearly won 3-0. I don't think there was a round you could have scored for Ignacio. Maybe round 2. But round 3, Fiziev whooping Ignacio's ass, blasting double leg on Ignacio. Bro, people forget, man. He took down Justin Gaethje. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, Fiziev is not just, like, I think a lot of people, when they break down Fiziev and they pick someone like Ignacio to beat him, they're like, oh, Fiziev's just a striker. Anyone with grappling is going to give him problems, you know? That fucking take Guru had that one time with the Justin Gaethje fight where Gamrot was exposing fucking Fiziev on the feet, alright? Get what you mean? Get that off my telly now, you know? That is one of the worst takes I've ever heard. Fiziev was whooping Gamrot's ass, and his knee blew out. It is what it is. I think you run that fight back, to be honest with you. I think you do Gamrot, Fiziev. I think you do that next, for sure. Ignacio, go fight some bums. I don't care. No. I like Ignacio. I think he can be something. He is 27, and that's another reason why I picked Fiziev. Fiziev's like a battle-tested dude in the rankings of lightweight, which is a big deal. Ignacio got a free win against Jalen Turner. And, like, a few good wins here and there against bums. You know? Like, that's about it. Fiziev, at least, is losing to top-level comp. You know? Justin Gaethje might not be the cleanest, but he's one of the best dirty boxers out there. You know? And he's one of the best gamers out there, if you will. But, yeah. Fiziev's increased, like, his toolbox. Now people got to worry about a takedown. And the thing with Fiziev is that he's so fast and he's so explosive. And it looks like he's so much better at managing his cardio. Bro, third round Fiziev might be a new aura. Might be the new mythical fighter. Third round Fiziev. Anyone else? Man, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see more Fiziev fights, man. This guy's active, too. He's coming off, like, a pretty decent war to Justin Gaethje not that long ago. Bro, we might see active fucking Fiziev here, you know? We might see the Buckley at lightweight, okay? But, like, uses wrestling, knows how to defend takedowns. And that's another thing. Fiziev, great takedown defense. Every time he got taken down by Gamrot, arguably the most dominant fucking grappler in lightweight, okay? Maybe, okay, actually, Islam's not there anymore. Gamrot might be the most dominant grappler in lightweight right now, okay? So, every time he got taken down, right to the fence, right to his feet, separated, you know? It was a boring fight, though. But Fiziev was piecing him up. Now, this fight was sick. This is, like, this is what I'm going to watch whenever I'm depressed, okay? This is the type of fight where I'm going to be like, oh, it felt so good getting this one right. But, yeah, sick fight. Really happy for Fiziev. And now we move on to my cursed picks. Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree in the main event. Fuck, man. I really wanted Jamal to win, man. I picked Jamal. I had Jamal by KO in, like, round 3-ish. I'm pissed off, man. I'm not even pissed off at this point. You know, I can't get my dogs right. I can't get my favorites right from the main event. I picked Buckley, heavy favorite, loses to Usman. I pick O'Malley, heavy dangerous underdog, loses to Merab. I pick I pick fucking Jamal Hill. So I'll pick him, and I fucking can't get that right. All right, so I'm just fucking cursed at this point. Man, fuck. But, yeah, Khalil won. I don't hate Khalil. I just hate the Khalil glaze. And I will say this, man. I'm not going to dwell too much on this, but I don't think Khalil's that good still. Did his cardio look better? Sure. When no fighter's setting a pace. Like, I liked Jamal Hill's career. At this point, it might be a cooked situation. Bro, he needs a new team. In the 4th round, they're telling him it's close. Or at the end of the 4th, they're like, it's close. You know, we gotta make this round more clear. Brother, you're down 4-0. These coaches, like Jamal, what are we doing with these coaches? Seriously, to tell you it was close, and I know it's gonna be memed. I guarantee it's gonna be memed. Jamal was jaw dropped when he heard the 45 or 50-45 for Khalil. Bro, Jamal. How the fuck do you think any of those rounds were yours? I get maybe round 1 and round 5. And if you do like under a microscope, you could probably make the argument 3-2 Jamal Hill. Or sorry, 3-2 Khalil Rountree. I think at best case scenario, you still can't give this fight to Jamal Hill. Jamal got dropped in 2 rounds. And he just looked like shit. Like he did. Now, I know it's like, oh, he's always had that foot movement. Oh, he's always done this and that. Yes, but he's active with his shitty foot movement. Against Yuri Prohaska, he's fucking in there, in the danger zone, 24/7. You know, jabbing, crossing, trying to dodge with his head movement. Kind of like GO FIZIEV, you know? Teeping, throwing body kicks. He did like 1 teep, and then he never did it again, even though it was super successful in Khalil Rountree. Brother, what are we doing, man? Like, seriously, Jamal Hill, what the fuck was that? You know, like, put some pepper on something. And there was moments. But this whole fight, it was like Jamal Hill wanted to counter-strike Khalil Rountree. But that's the #1 thing you don't want to fucking do against Khalil Rountree. Because then it's just a snooze fest, and Rountree will always look like he's hitting you harder every time. That's how he works. And if it's a snooze fest, Khalil doesn't have to worry about the cardio because you're not pushing a pace. The way you beat Khalil Rountree is very, very easy. You do what Dustin Jacoby did. You do what Alex Pereira did. You do what fucking, maybe not Johnny Walker, even though Johnny Walker beat the living shit out of Khalil Rountree. What you do against Khalil is that you push a pace and you break him because he gets sloppy, lazy, hands low. Even in the 5th, he was hands low. Khalil Rountree on his bike, terrified, you know? He gets pieced up very easily. His eye shuts very easily. His nose breaks very easily, man. What are we doing with this waiting until he throws something? Like, what the fuck is the plan, man? I do like round 1. He was going for those leg kicks. Jamal Hill was looking okay in round 1. Round 2, Khalil was getting to him with those leg kicks. And while the striking numbers were very, very close in round 2, and I know it was like optically, oh, Khalil Rountree slaughtered Jamal Hill. No, not really. Jamal Hill just never really did anything. It's not like Khalil shut down Jamal. It's just Jamal never found anything to do, you know? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he didn't find any, like, it pisses me off because it's literally like, your calf kicks were good, Jamal. Let's go back to that. And then he just doesn't. Your fucking teep that you did, that nice little jab right into his midsection, that was sick, you know? Your stiff right hand down the pipe. It's working. Let's do that more. Let's get risky with Khalil. Khalil fucking sucks, man. He does. I like Khalil's style, and I like watching him fight. I don't think he's that good. And now he's top 5 light heavyweight. What the fuck are we doing? He's probably going to call for a title shot. Doesn't deserve it at all. Bare minimum, I want to see Jan Blachowicz, Olberg, or fucking Yuri Prohaska against Khalil. Unless it's those 3 names, don't give a fuck what Khalil's doing. None of it matters. But, yeah, my stock for Khalil hasn't risen anything. And Jamal's not attempting takedowns. Like, mix something up, man. Go for a trip. Push him against the cage. Where's the clinch, brother? Like, ugh, fuck, it pissed me off, man. Everything Jamal normally did, he did 1 time in the fight and never did again. Normally he's in there trying to clinch, getting that knee up. Knee up the middle, you know? He's doing that fucking push kick. He's, you know, leg kick, you know? Bop, bop, bop. And he's constantly, his head is constantly like this. Fucking like he's playing Siege, just constantly leaning, waiting for someone to... That's what this was. It was literally Rainbow Six Siege. Jamal Hill was leaning, watching an angle, constantly waiting for Khalil Rountree to peek, and every time Khalil peeked, Jamal looked away. And it's like, brother, what are we doing? You know? And in the 5th round, where he's like, I respect it because it's fun to watch, like, egoing shit, and, you know, like, oh, getting hit by that, didn't hurt, barely felt it, you know, mid-fight. I like that. Showmanship, I like that, okay? But we're in the 5th round, you're down 4 rounds, lock the fuck in. What are we doing? What are we doing? Seriously, Jamal Hill, what the fuck? God, it pisses me off. God damn, man. Fuck. But Jamal Hill, I think, will still be... Bro, he might just be the Neil Magny of the division. Book it. Book it. Jamal Hill. Put him in the bottom 15. He is now the Neil Magny of light heavyweight. I've seen enough. Yeah, I don't know what we do with Jamal Hill. I think we just make him a gatekeeper. Give him... Don't give him that fucking flawless guy, Mirzakhanov. Don't give him Mirzakhanov. Give him a winnable matchup who's not that dangerous, you know? I wouldn't even mind Olberg Hill, to be honest with you, but obviously that's fighting up now, so you can't really do that. I don't think Khalil Rountree does shit to anyone in the top division. Pereira whooped his ass on antibiotics with a broken toe, or broken foot, or torn ligament in his foot, whatever it was. What's his name? Ankalaev beats the shit out of Khalil Rountree. For sure. 100%. Yuri Prohaska finishes Khalil Rountree, in my opinion, round 1. Olberg probably tap, runs the whole time, you know? Like, there's nothing about Khalil that I'm impressed about this fight. If he got a finish early on, it's like, okay, he's got more finishing potential than I thought. But he didn't. Yes, he caught Jamal one time cleanly. And Jamal survived. Pereira put him over. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna go that delusional, okay? But yeah, it is just like it's a sad day for Hill fans, I'll be honest, but it is what it is. I'm upset about the result. I get why. I'm not like disagreeing with the result. I'm just upset by it. Jamal, lock in, brother. What the fuck are we doing? You are now designated Neil Magny of the division. Okay, I'll see you in October against Johnny Walker rematch. Okay. You're now designated Neil Magny. Khalil Rountree. But if they give him Jan Blachowicz is just not going to fight. Jan Blachowicz will get another fucking hip surgery or knee injury. Oh, man. What do we do? What do we do with Khalil Rountree, man? Rakic? Anyone? Yeah, I don't know what we do with Khalil Rountree, to be honest with you. I don't want to see him get a title shot. I'll crash out if he gets a fucking title shot. You know? I get it. He beat Jamal Hill. By that logic, Yuri should be fighting for the belt right now. Sure, he lost to Alex Pereira twice. Alex Pereira's not the champ. Magomed Ankalaev is. And by Khalil Rountree getting a fucking instant title shot against a new-blooded champion, where the fuck's my Yuri title shot at? Alright, boys? If Yuri doesn't get a title shot before Khalil, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to fucking lose it. Anyways, that has been my breakdown for the entirety of the card. A little bit of a long one. I wanted it to be short, but it is what it is. If you made it all the way to the video, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.